Hey everybody, it's Derek with the Board Game Spotlight. I am here playing a new game coming to Kickstarter called Built for War. I have the designer and developer of the game, and we're going to play this and show it off to y'all. I really hope that you enjoy this video. I'm really excited. As you know, I'm a huge tank guy. Lived on those for a little while. So go ahead, Scott, and
Yep,
go ahead and take it over.
Travis.
Travis, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, hey everybody, Scott Demers, owner of Active Magic Games, the development studio for Built for War. Also on the line with us is Travis Meredith, who is the designer of the game. So, let's give a quick overview of the game. This is, and we're both going to comment about this. Both Travis and I given a little bit of color here. This is different than what you think of because it's not a war game. It's that bridge between the two. And we'll have Travis give a little bit of flavor about why he designed the game that he designed.
Yeah, I like to say this game, Built for War, is it's got the heart and soul of a war game, but it's got the brain of a Euro. And the reason for that is I enjoy both. I enjoy playing Euro games and I enjoy playing war games, but I do know that war games can be a little intimidating for people sometimes. And sometimes you just don't have the time for them, you know? So I wanted to have that was a good bridge between a Euro and a war game. And there's not a lot of games out there like that. And there are even fewer with a World War II theme. Amazingly, with the thousands of World War II games you could possibly play, there's not a lot of them that aren't like kind of a full-on war game. Sometimes a light war game, but yeah. So heart and soul of a war game and brain of a Euro.
All right. Well, you've got me intrigued for sure.
We're hoping to attract Euro gamers that are kind of interested in World War II into a more of a war game setting, you know?
For sure. So you'll hear Travis and Scott, commenting throughout this video. They're on Discord with me, unfortunately. You've got to look at my ugly mug as we play. But yeah, I'm really excited. I mean, that's what Lizzie would say. But yeah, let's dive in here.
Okay, sounds great. So on this player board, or this main board in the middle, it shows the four basic phases for a game, and these four phases allow a player to basically design the main battle tank or one of the four major nations that fought during World War II. And that's the heart and soul of the game, is this concept of, oh my God, I get to design and build my own tank. How cool is that, right? That's really, to me, the real hook. You then take it on the battlefield and fight with it. And so you capture objectives, you destroy enemy tanks, you shoot at support units, enemy units, infantry, artillery, things like that.
Okay.
There. And so those four phases, you're going to find the game's pretty straightforward. First, you research or develop. And what that means is you'll have some technology tiles. We're going to grab those in just a second. Those are the unique characteristics of tanks: bigger guns, bigger armor, better engines, good training for your crew, things like that, improving the radio. You're going to research those and either keep them or and decide to keep one. At some point, you're going to say, I now want to build this tank that I've researched over time. And so you can see that we're pulling out some of these up here, and it might make sense to zoom in on some of those. But everybody's going to have four of these in their what's called their technology stack. And so on yours, that Derek, that would go right there. I don't know if you're seeing those arrows.
Okay. Yep, I got those arrows right there. Yep.
Yeah, so those are going to be face down. That's secret. That's unique to you. I'm going to have four. Travis is going to have four.
Okay.
And each season of the game, which is a turn, you're going to decide, I want one of these on my blueprint. In other words, I'm researching it. Or do I want to, instead of researching, I want to build the tank that I've frankly designed in prior seasons. when you build your tank, all of those technology tiles move out onto your player board wherever they may belong, right? So
Okay.
over time, you're going to be throwing this stuff in here, right? My guess is those are upside down for your view. You can...
Yep, we're all good.
Okay.
Yep, we're
You
good.
can rotate.
Yep.
Okay, got it. So anyway, and so let's say this, and let me look at these to make sure these tiles make sense, but
They do. There's one that's duplicate, but you can skip that one.
yeah, we'll just grab another one. You know, let's say on earlier seasons you had researched these things onto your blueprint. If you decide to build it, literally these things just go out on your player board, and notice they just match the icons.
Yeah.
And so in this case, right, there's suspension. Anything that doesn't have an icon is an auxiliary, and so you just throw it in there.
Okay.
And then you'll notice also that there are 5 icons that are up top here, 5 areas. These represent actions that you're going to take in the combat phase. And so, put another way, these are the things you're going to do.
Okay.
So these are the ones that you really want to get some enhanced technologies, because you might be able to fire your cannons better or shoot machine guns better or that kind of thing.
Okay.
Okay. There are primary technologies and there are secondary technologies. You can only have one primary technology on your tank, so you can only have one type of gun.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thematically, that makes sense.
You can have different types of ammo or optical sighting or various things that enhance your ability to take actions. Okay?
All right.
So let me grab a couple more technologies and just throw them on your tank just for fun. Let's do a couple of these. And that one loading. There we go. Okay. So here's an example of something that primary technology on a turret. And so that's better. And then let's throw out, let's say, machine guns, right? So let's say those are your abilities. Now you'll notice that the value of this, right, your machine guns are better. You'll notice here your turret is better. But you'll also notice that it has a weight to it.
Okay. I see that. Yep.
Yep. So as you add stuff to your tank, you're changing the weight characteristics of your tank.
Interesting.
And,
all right.
Right? So the better stuff weighs more. Makes sense.
Of course.
You just add numbers up, right? 1, 5, 6. Luckily, you actually pulled some cool technology, 7, 8. Yeah, so what did I say? 6, 7, 8. But then you're also minus 5 because you put on some really cool stuff. So you've actually enhanced your tank, but actually made it lighter.
Okay.
That matters for when we get past the development, when we get into the combat action phase. Okay? Questions so far?
Nope. I'm ready.
Okay. So then the next thing is there will be these. And should I rotate these for your?
No, I can magnify them and they come up just fine on screen. So.
Okay, great.
Should be good.
So what we do is you flip up these cards, and in a 3-player game, you flip up 5 of these.
Okay.
Right? Thank you. And then these are the combat actions that a player can take when it's your turn. You'll notice down here there are 2 tracks on the main board.
Mm-hmm.
The blue one is the initiative track. That determines player order. And it starts with Germany, then it goes to Britain, then it goes to Russia, and then it goes to the U.S. So that's the order in which we're going to select our actions. These are our victory points down here.
Okay.
So nobody's got any victory points. We're starting out with none, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So first up will be the Germans, and it's as simple as I select an action, any of these I wish, and I take that action. And there are, again, 5 of them, and they correspond to these things on your player board. Each one of these is a type of action tied to one of these cards.
Okay.
And you'll know the icons match. So if you take a blitz action, let's just start in this upper left-hand corner. The first thing that happens is you're going to gain an initiative. And you will gain 1 initiative because that's all you have so far. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
You also, as a bonus or penalty, depending on the weight of your tank, will get some additional initiative. In this case, you'll get 2 initiative because your tank is so stinking light. So and you're the Russians. You literally go bling, up. You just move up 2.
Cool.
Okay. The second piece is you can then capture objectives. And objectives are cards that you get via the support action. And so let's look at this support action. There are 2 cards out, so it's a little easier thing to do this turn. What you do is you grab 2 cards and you reveal it. Oh, not the whole deck. 2 cards. And you keep these. These are to yourself. I'm going to grab a different card just because I don't have the final artwork done on that one. Okay. So here you have 2 choices. Now you're going to do this secretly. You're going to look at these yourself, and you're going to say, do I want to capture a major objective? It's worth 2 victory points to me at the end of each year if I hold on to it.
Okay.
Or do I want conscripts? And these conscripts, they're worth 1 victory point, so that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But they also enhance your blitz action and your turret action. So if you had selected these conscripts and they were right there for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they were in play for you, the card you don't select goes on top of the deck.
Okay.
Okay, so you now know a little bit about what the next person's going to get who takes a support action.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you had had this card in play when you had done that blitz action, you would also have received an extra
initiative. Okay.
Yeah. And obviously this also enhances the turret action. So if you take a turret action, you're going to get 1, 2, 3 initiative because that you have a great turret on your tank. If you look on your player board here.
Yep.
Plus you're going to get 1 where you get 4 if you grab turret. So that's actually possibly a better action for you.
Okay.
We'll see this. We'll play it a turn or 2 just so that we get the flow of it. But you can enhance your radio to get where your support action works better. You can enhance your turret. You can enhance your engine so your blitz actions are better.
Mm-hmm.
Frankly, the 2 cards we don't have up right now are my 2 favorites. One is destroy other tanks by firing your cannons at them, or fire your machine guns to kill support units. So you now have a support unit here. So Travis firing machine guns at you becomes a viable option, right?
Sure.
And the reason that matters, Derek, is that you're going to get a victory point every single year. At the end of each year is when you score points. You're going to get a victory point every year. These conscripts are alive. If I kill them, I get a one-time 1 victory point for killing those troops.
Okay.
Yep. So we'll go through how these actions work, maybe when we actually take that action.
Yeah, sure.
Trying to clear everything now.
Of course.
And then you go, so everybody does 1 either research or develop, then they take 1 combat action, then we get to end of season. We just move this forward. We do it all over again. When we get to the end of the year, we're going to score victory points for every one of these icons that we have on our support units, on our tank kill tiles, these are called over here.
Okay.
Everybody starts with 2. This represents both our manufacturing of tanks as well as the tanks that get destroyed. You have to discard it if it gets destroyed. So this kind of represents at the end of the year how many of our tanks survive the battlefield, which obviously depend on the characteristics of the tank that we've designed.
And just for the concept of the size and the scale of that, each one of those tiles represents like 5,000 tanks or something. It's a lot, right?
Okay.
So it's like, a big supply of tanks.
Sure. Okay. All right.
So then we advance the year, right? At the end of the season, we do it one more time. We advance the year. When we get to 1944, you'll notice these colors on the years are blue and orange. We actually swap out. We get rid of all of our blue tiles that aren't on our tanks or in our blueprint, and we start drawing orange tiles. And the orange tiles are better. These are called early war technologies, late war technologies.
Okay. All right. So we're getting into the Tiger tanks there.
Truthfully, you can actually design real tanks that came in World War II.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And let's be clear. if you play with AI, this game comes out of the box with a set of AI.
Yeah,
You
I
can
see
actually
those.
fight against historical tanks.
That's really cool.
So both in solo mode or just to fill out a game if you wanted to.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. We'll put these back, shuffle,
Yep.
blah, blah, blah. We should probably flip them upside down. Just, there we go. I can tell Derek has some skill there with this.
I've used
right?
TTS a little bit. I've dabbled.
Have to, right?
It's it's the new age.
That is.
Okay, so there's only one thing I haven't explained, and truthfully, a couple things. If you ever have a tile, Derek, and you go, I don't know what that tile is, there's a technology reference over here, and if you just hold down Alt on it, you can read literally every single technology in the game. Explained in one way or another. Okay.
Very cool.
Full rule book as well, if you care. Only thing I haven't explained is this doctrine tile on your player board. This is the variable player powers of the various nations.
Mm-hmm.
And so everybody has a different version. We're not going to play with the Americans. I'm playing the Brits. And so you'll want to look at this particular tile and decide which side you want face up for 1942.
Okay.
Because whatever you have face up for 1942 is going to be in play for the whole year, and it's an advantage for you. So it's a way that you break the rules of the game, just a subtle benefit for you. Okay. So first thing we do is, and I will say in Tabletop Simulator, although this works well, it certainly plays a little bit better, obviously, in real life.
Of course.
But you're gonna want to grab 4 tiles out of the blue bag.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
And then you should look at them. And are you familiar with the Alt and Shift key to peek at stuff without having to turn it over?
Yep.
Okay. All you're doing on this first turn is deciding, do I want to research one of these technologies and put it on my blueprint, which is in the lower right-hand portion of your player board, or do I want to build my tank? Well, you obviously don't want to build your tank. You don't have anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look at those technologies and decide something that you like that's on them and put it on your blueprint like I have on mine.
Okay.
The other 3, I'm going to pass to the player to my left.
We're going to draft these, eh?
It is drafting. That's correct.
Oh, not all 4. Let's just do one of these guys. This one. What's the peek again? To peek at a card? I'm trying to remember the shortcut
it's
for that.
Alt and Shift at the same time.
That's right. That's right. Okay. Yep, we're good. So I'll pass these to the next player.
Yep, and you're going to give them all the way down to the German. We're just playing a 3-player game.
Perfect.
I got them.
Okay. And then what you do is, I've given you 3 here. Just grab them and put them on right there.
Okay. Yep.
Is what I would do. That's trying to simulate, an in-person game. That's where you'd put them, right?
That makes sense.
We've just completed research or develop for spring of 1942.
Fantastic. Whoops.
Okay. We're now into combat action. So this is where, I don't know if anybody shuffled these, so let me shuffle.
Yeah, not quite. Everybody should draw 1 tile, so you're back up to 4 tiles. 1 more blue tile.
Okay.
Yep. You always end at 4 tiles is the key. So, so you're almost always going to draw 1 tile at the end.
Okay. Yep.
Go ahead, Travis, if you want to do that. And so now we're going to put out 5 cards.
Mm-hmm.
These are our possible actions. And the first player, and the initiative at the start of the game is in order of entry into the war. So it's German, Brits, Russians, and then Americans.
Okay.
So, and we'll explain one thing I didn't explain about the action cards, which is weight allowance. There's another reason why weight matters. You can actually break your tank because it's the heavier, kind of more cumbersome it becomes, right?
Sure.
Travis is up first.
All right, sweet. what do we got here? So we have some of these burn treads, and burn tread is something we haven't talked about yet. Burn tread is actually a wild action. So you can play a burn tread as any other action, and I always tell people who are playing for the first time, take the burn tread that won't break your tank down. So you see how this burn tread has this 14 weight number up here? If you look at your tank, actually we need to reset your weight. It should be at 5. Everybody starts at 5. So what that means is that this would break down a tank that weighs 14 or more. So, you know, those King Tigers and those larger tanks, maybe IS-2s and stuff like that are going to break down. But our tanks, they're little, they're light, they're early war, so they're not. So I'm going to take that card, mostly just because I'm a jerk and I don't want you guys to have it. And then,
fair enough.
I think, oh, you know what we forgot to do? We all get, at the beginning of the game, we all get one support card. And you just draw it at random.
Okay.
From the top of the support deck and reveal it.
And reveal it?
Right,
okay.
Yeah, you put it right there. So I got an objective, which means that that's a good thing. You could, with a blitz action, a person could try to steal that from me.
Sure.
Okay.
And I have, I've got support unit.
Yep. And you got what support? You got a
machine gun.
Worth noting, anytime you see that tank as an art piece,
that is placeholder?
Yeah, we're just short on like 5 pieces of art before we're 100% done with the artwork for the game. So
very cool.
That is not a machine gun, and we are aware of that.
we don't want the wrath of the grogheads on us. So
that's right.
Yeah. All right. So my support card is pretty interesting. I got this pretty nasty anti-tank gun. So really, I think what I want to do is I want to fire my cannons, and so that I can take advantage of the firepower of this thing. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use that burn tread action to fire my cannons. And so I actually have 2 cannons. I've got a cannon on my tank, and now I have this anti-tank gun. And I first have to choose a target. When you fire your cannons, you're only firing at tanks. So in other words, like, my anti-tank gun can't fire at your machine gun, okay? But I could fire at, say, Scott's tank, because it's Scott, right? And so what we're going to do here is I'm going to say my anti-tank gun is firing at Scott's tank, and then we have to decide, we have to figure out if I'm able to flank him, which means, am I firing over here? You want to give me the arrow, Scott? You're good at that. At his rear armor or his frontal armor. That first number is your frontal armor, and that second number is the rear armor. So I'd like to fire at his side/rear armor. Okay. And my initiative needs to be higher than his. Now, we're working on this rule right now, but technically I can't fire at his side armor right now because I have the same initiative and I'm not higher. So I would have to exceed the 3. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to roll my die, and I'm going to add the 4 firepower of the anti-tank gun to it. And he's going to roll his die, and he's going to add the 3 armor of his tank to it. And if I roll higher than him, I kill a tank.
Yeah, or equal even.
Equal? Okay. Ooh, bouncy die. Hey, there's a 6.
And I got a 4, so yeah, he stopped that. My shot stops, and I am done with that. So now I would have to fire with my tank. My tank is not as powerful. It's a +1. It's the same situation here. I'm going to be rolling at his 3. So Scott will roll his dice, and I'll roll my dice. I got a 4, and 1 is 5, and he got, nice.
A 4. 4 total, yeah.
So he would actually lose one of these tank kill tiles.
Okay.
5,000 tanks are pissed.
5,000 tanks just got destroyed in one shot. This is, we're abstracting a very large scale sort of thing here. And here's the next rule. We have an overwhelm rule in this game. If your tank manages to destroy a tank, not support units, but a tank, you get to fire again. So I am going to actually just kind of spread the love a little bit, Derek. I'm going to take a shot at your tank.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. And I rolled a 7.
Oh,
So you lose a tank kill tile.
now
Bad boys.
when does this come into effect? Reroll armor.
Right now, actually. Yeah, so you get to re-roll that bad boy and hopefully get higher. Oh, there you go. So the Russian sloped armor, of course, stops my shot. And now I no longer get to keep shooting at tanks. I'm done. But if you kill one tank with your tank,
Mhm.
Your Minister of Defense decides those tanks are pretty good. Let's produce some more. So I get 5,000 more tanks.
Okay.
And that was the end of my fire cannons phase, which I think worked out pretty well for me.
Very nice.
Is it worth noting that I normally, I know how like probability works, and so I don't believe there's a bias in dice, but I do roll like a god. And I was about to say that right before I rolled a 1.
Karma.
I'm kind of glad I held off for the moment, actually.
Nice.
Okay. Worth noting, each one of those tank kill tiles is worth 1 point at the end of the year.
Okay.
So you can see why trying to protect your tank is important. The other piece is the cool thing about that overwhelm rules is there absolutely is an arms race that goes on. If one of us develops onto our tank a big gun, everybody else starts looking for armor because otherwise that big gun is just going to mow through you on the battlefield.
Sure.
Okay. One thing, my doctrine is that in the spring, when I research, I also develop. And so in this case, I actually have a better engine on my tank. I should have increased my weight by 1.
Mm-hmm.
I think by 1. Yep, by 1. So I'm a slightly heavier tank, which I should be aware of. But that makes this blitz action pretty attractive to me. Even though I can't capture an objective, you guys could. I want to remove it as an option so you don't try to capture my objective. But the other thing is I'm now going to get 2 initiative as a bonus. And so,
right.
So I move up 2. Okay, because I'm still 0. I'm 0. My weight doesn't matter. So I get +2 because of those 2 lightning bolts.
Plus
0
plus
initiative.
Do you get one from the card itself?
Nope, that just says that you're adding
for
up your
capture.
lightning bolts on your
Okay.
engine.
Oh, okay.
Always look for the icon. Yeah.
Okay.
And so that's my turn. I could, if you had a red card or anyone else had one of these cards of like what I have, I could then capture that objective by spending a number of initiative equal to the shields on that particular card.
Sure.
Okay.
Well,
so that's my turn. I just want to get ahead so that I can move first.
I'm obviously going to choose this one, the burn
Not
tread.
necessarily,
Oh,
because you're
it's a
gonna break
4.
something down. Yeah.
And I'm a 5. Okay. Well,
so that turret. Well, if you do the turret action, it won't break you down.
It's true. It won't break me down, and I'll get 1 initiative from it,
which will put you in front of me in terms of turn order next turn. 1 initiative isn't that much, but
The other thing it does is it also makes it so if you shoot at him next turn, you're shooting at his side armor.
Yeah. Okay, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll move 1 up on initiative there.
Okay. When everybody's taking a combat action, we advance the season.
Okay. Now, do 5 new ones come out, or you just go up to 5?
Up to 5.
Up to 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's some specific technologies that increase your options and things like that, and that's one of the reasons why that you always drop up to 5. Okay, so we're in summer. We're going to do it all over again. Now you just look at the 4 technologies that you have on your technology stack, and decide if any of those that you want to put on your gun or on your tank, or sorry, on your blueprint.
On the blueprint.
Or if you want to just say, nope, I don't want to put any of those on my blueprint. I instead want to build this tank. I don't like what I'm going to be passing you here in just a minute. Just so you know, Derek.
I'm going to add one to my blueprint.
Yeah.
There are some of these that say auto on them, Derek. If it says auto, when you research it,
does it automatically develop? Okay.
It does, yeah.
Very
Usually
nice.
Have some sort of field upgrade.
Okay. And then I'll go ahead and draw another one from the bag to go up to 4, correct?
You're going to pass the 3,
Oh.
and you're going to draw
Okay, my bad.
after you get. And I've passed my 3 to you
Okay,
right
All
here.
right.
And you get one
gotcha.
more.
And then you add one more. Okay, okay.
So I researched, but I had an auto, and being German, I decided to toss some shears and skirts on my tank.
Ah, okay. So we've got some upgraded
Yeah, we got some
pieces.
Panzer IVs or something in there, right?
Yeah. So now this will add a +1 to your defense. So now you're at a 2, correct? Before you roll?
Yeah, only on the side armor.
Only on the side armor, correct? Yep.
Yeah.
Cool idea, since I was just talking about how we want to totally screw him over with.
You want to try to flank him? Yeah.
Right. All right.
All right.
Okay, so now we're in initiative order, so it's going to be me, you, Travis.
Okay.
And we are just looking at these actions. I'm going to grab this blitz again
Mm-hmm.
and gain another 2 initiative.
Sure.
Simple.
And also, again, just trying to kind of nerf you guys a little bit.
Yep.
Your turn.
So I'm gonna take the burn tread. It's a 4 and I'm a 5, so I'm not gonna break anything. And I'm gonna go ahead and blitz on your objective.
Oh, actually, it would break
Wait.
something.
Oh, it would?
Right, because your weight is 5, so if your weight is equal or higher, or actually, is it just
Oh.
higher than that number,
Just
Scott?
higher.
Is that what
Just
it is?
higher. Okay,
it's
okay.
higher,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
Okay, so
So
higher.
you're looking for high numbers.
I'm
yeah.
looking for high numbers. Okay. Well, fire. Let's see.
To be one quick note, if you, let's say you do take this, it's fine. Breaking your tank isn't a huge deal. What it does is whichever one of these 5 things you activated on your tank,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to place a broken token on top of it, and you can no longer select that action until you fix it.
Okay.
To fix it,
so you can repair it.
isn't that? Yeah, what you do to fix it is you select an action card in a future season, and instead of taking the action, you just discard it. And you get to fix 1 malfunction for each gear symbol on your mechanic. And of course, as you can imagine, there are technologies that increase your mechanics.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
If you don't like any of your options, you can declare desperate measures, and you draw a card off the top, you reveal it, and then you must take that action or use it to repair.
So a little pressure luck action there.
Pressure luck.
You know what? No, it's all good. And you went plus. I am. That's tough. So you're going to get a victory point at the end of the year, correct? Not the season. Is that how that works?
Correct.
Okay.
End of the year is the only time scoring occurs.
So I'll take the turret just to keep up on the initiative. So it's going to be another +1 on the initiative for me.
All right. Well, I see another fire cannons, and that seems to be working out for me, so I am going to do that.
Yeah.
Seems like a good idea.
Firing machine guns might have been smart.
Yeah, machine guns would have been good too. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing I did last time. I'll fire on Scott's tank.
Okay.
And I'm firing at his frontal armor because I'm clearly in the back here. That was the most pathetic roll ever, but I'm going to keep it. All right, so Scott bounced the shot from my anti-tank gun, and then my tank will take a shot at Scott because that's just how we roll. That's how we roll.
I'm seeing a theme here.
I didn't get enough. So that's it. My turn's over. I didn't have as much luck as I had last time.
Okay.
Awesome.
We move on to fall.
Mm-hmm.
And we reveal the cards like Travis, like you just did. Or whoever
You're
just did.
all good. All good. Oh, there's a support. Okay.
Yeah, those are popular.
Yes.
Ooh, I wonder who's going to pick that. All right. Okay, so now we're research and develop of fall of 1942.
Okay.
And again,
doing the same thing.
Yep, you're deciding if you want to research or
now
develop.
you may have mentioned this earlier, but when do I get to develop from my blueprints? When does that happen? Is right now I choose to.
Yeah,
okay.
You do it in lieu of researching. So
gotcha.
Yep.
Okay. So in that case, let's see what we have available here. Any of these worth adding to? Ooh man. Okay.
This is both the best part and the worst part of the game because
For real.
you love your technologies. And look, great games have hard choices, and there's
I
always
know.
a hard choice. One more season with my undergunned, under-engined, under-armored tank, or
So what
you wanna go
happens?
Yeah.
What happens if I don't choose one of these to research? Does the stack of 4 just get past the next player?
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Well, I don't want to do it, but I have to. I'm gonna research. I'm sorry. I'm gonna develop, and we're throwing down some heavy armor here.
There you
Plus
go.
5.
Nice.
And then
And so all of these go on your tank. So whatever this other one is goes on.
Hey, guess what? That's another reroll my armor, so I got 2 rerolls now. I figure, why not?
All right. So you draw one more blue. Now
Okay.
notice that Travis, because you passed him 4,
He will
doesn't
not. Yeah,
redraw.
he will not draw. Yeah,
Right.
all good.
All right.
I
I drew my one more.
I had to pass on some good stuff, but I really wanted to upgrade my tank.
Yeah.
So let me
Yep.
see what what we've got to work with next round here,
You
real
could
quick.
go the whole game and have tons of technology and never upgrade your tank. It wouldn't do you a damn bit of good.
Okay. Well, I like what got
Sorry.
passed to me, so I'm good with that.
Whoops.
Okay, so I'll take the first action. It's my turn. Because again, initiative order. I will grab this support, and notice it's infinite weight, so it won't break my tank. I'm going to draw 2 cards off the top of this support deck. I'm going to look at them,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to decide.
One of them to put out.
Yep, and I put one back on top of the deck. The other one I put out. Now, when you get, so I have a support unit. I'm only drawing cards that I don't have art for, so that kind of makes me sad.
It's okay.
Because honestly, the art, I'm just so thrilled. Marco Morte is our artist, and I've worked with him in the past on Hellenica, and I just think he just nailed it. So I have a unit, and I have an objective, which means I can entrench. And what that means is, and it's always one objective and one unit.
Mm-hmm.
This unit is now protecting that objective, and its defense when it gets fired upon is now the sum of the shields. And to blitz this objective, it is also the sum of the shield. So it would cost 3 initiative to steal this objective from me, and I get a +3 on my die rolls when you shoot machine guns at me. Firing machine guns works very similar to firing cannons, except you get 1 shot per unit kind of thing. And then it also enhances my blitz action and fire machine gun action.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
I feel pretty good about it so far. I'm not going to lie.
That looks pretty good. That looks real good. So I'm going to take this off the table because it's higher than my. So this is an 8, and I have a 5, so I can take the burn tread. And guess what? You know what? I also want some support cards.
Nice.
And Scott made a mistake there in that he probably should have snagged that one first to keep us from getting it. It didn't really matter because you guys did the same thing. But yeah, usually you would snag that first and get it off the table.
So
Got the recording. I don't want that on the recording.
Well, this is why we get to dump stuff.
So I also
Especially with
am going to get an
Godfather.
objective. Now, does the timing matter? Can I now entrench, or does the objective have to be there? What's the timing?
Anytime during your
Anytime on
turn.
your turn.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
You can actively. You can
So,
you can even adjust it. If you get another support, you can move them around.
You can move them around.
Wish.
Cool.
Yep.
So let's go ahead and do that then. So this is my, whoa, sorry, zoomed in way too far there. We can do, this is my entrenched unit right there. Okay, that's my turn.
The only rule on that is you have to do it on your turn. That's
Cool.
It. So, yep. All right. What kind of shit did you guys? Fire cannons is a little interesting to me, but in reality, I wouldn't mind getting a support card too. So my doctrine right now allows me to look at an additional action card. Oh no, it's draw a support card at your start. I forgot to do that. And so I'm not going to do it because I designed the game and I should know better. So I'm going to actually, I thought I had the other one. I thought I had on the other side, you can draw an extra action card before you take your action.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
See what it is. So it's the a little more experienced crew member.
So I'm not going to say that you should shoot at Scott, but you should, definitely not shoot at me.
I don't really want to shoot at you because
I
you
didn't
have 2 sloped armor, and so
with 2
well,
rerolls. Yeah,
well,
2 rerolls. Yeah.
let's be clear. We're rolling with this, but you actually in the game the rules you can't have 2 of the same type. Oh wait, but you have
It's
yeah,
a
you have your
doctrine tile.
doctrine.
Yeah,
So,
that's the thing. Yeah.
There are a couple of slope tiles in there, so you couldn't have 2 of the same
Sure,
slope tile,
sure,
right?
sure. That
Well,
makes
but
sense.
I'm going to go after Scott because he's the easier target. All right. Plus,
Number
you
10,
have,
I've heard that in my
you have
life.
you have that upgraded armor too on the front that I wouldn't even be able to probably touch. So yeah, my anti-tank gun missed, and I didn't declare that, but that's what I've been doing. So,
Oh, yeah.
and then I'll do my tank as well, which is my +1.
3.
And he deflected that as well. So I'm
Nice.
done. Yep.
I'm feeling pretty good about how we're taking care of Travis.
Yeah. Slowed me down. This is the last turn before we score. So that's something to think about. Points come
Travis,
from
do
your...
you want to walk through how scoring works just so he knows?
Yeah, sure. It's pretty easy. So you're going to get 1 point for each of your tank kill tiles. And then you're going to get 1 point for each of your objectives and support units that are still alive.
Okay.
You'll get 1 point per support unit that you've shot or killed. You actually collect them from your opponent, and then you discard it. So you get 1 point, and then it goes away.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, at the very end of the round, you have the opportunity in initiative order to spend your initiative to gain victory points down here. So if you look, every year has an increasing cost in terms of initiative. And in the first year, you have your best opportunity to get the most initiative. Of course, if you spend all
Going
of it,
back
you're
down
gonna
to
be,
0, yeah.
Yeah, you're going to be kind of, I don't know, your kids aren't going to be in a great shape when they get older. Here, it's 1 for 1. You spend 1 initiative for 1 victory point.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
You can't spend below 0.
Okay.
And that's it.
Alrighty.
So that first thing is to look at our tiles.
Oh, that's right. See what we have here.
I mean,
Let's say Scott thinks he found something good.
You think?
Hmm.
Let's just say that's going on my tank. And I pass 3. So a few things, Derek.
Mm-hmm.
Turns are pretty quick.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yep, and it's funny. I love whenever you show a game to an experienced gamer. It's not like the complexity is in the strategies as to what type of tank to build, to align to your doctrine, to align to the actions that are available for that turn. It's not in, good God, I don't know what any of this stuff does.
Right. Technicality type situations.
Yeah, like you're right, the one-off, the kind of kludgy stuff where you're like, oh, that's right, because of this circumstance, this other thing. It's not.
Yeah, we tried to eliminate as much of that stuff in the game as we possibly could because it makes it not fun,
Mm-hmm.
All right, so again, I am first. What terrible, horrible things can I do to you people?
Please, sir, may I have another?
I am going to burn tread, and I am going to select the blitz action. I get +3 initiative because remember I have these special forces now.
Right.
So 1, 2, 3. I am then going to spend 2 initiative, Eric.
Okay.
And I am going to capture your objective, which basically means...
And I don't roll against that?
Nope.
You don't roll against that. The shields just determine how much it costs.
Okay.
I don't harm your unit in any way, but I have blitz the objective. And so again, this is representing the kind of trade-offs of capture of territory and whatever else. So in this case, now the negative news for me, and I probably should have looked, but if there are other blitz actions out there, I spent 2 to steal it from you, and for 1 you can take it back.
Yeah,
correct.
Right?
Correct.
So they're. Anyway.
But the other Newton's law of physics here is that he's exposed your support unit. So if somebody picks up fire machine guns, now it's a little bit easier to kill.
Right. Hmm. Well, I don't. I don't like your anti-tank, so we're gonna fire on that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's juicy.
So firing machine guns works very similarly to cannons. There's no flanking.
Hey, before you do that, Derek.
Yeah.
You didn't adjust your weight after you put on the better armor.
Oh, +3. You're right. 1, 2,
You're
3.
actually one higher. You're not bad. You're only a 6, I think.
Oh yeah, I should be at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm at 6. Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
so I think you're okay because
And
you're equal.
this is a 6.
6.
So okay, equal to or higher. Okay.
And so one of the kind of cool things is, oh, I forgot to adjust my weight. Look at your board. It'll tell you.
Right, it's right there. Easy. Okay, so I'm going to fire my machine guns at this support unit. So
Nice.
All right. So like I said, it works exactly the same way, only instead of using armor, I'm using this little defense symbol.
Mhm.
And I'm not in an objective, so I don't get that bonus. And then you're using your machine gun. So you get a +1. Is that right?
yes,
You don't-
it is a +1. Yep.
And mine's a +1. There's one thing that makes this different. If you equal my armor, you suppress my unit. And what that means is that my unit will no longer be able to use its benefit when I take the action. So you
Okay.
would shut down my ability to fire that cannon.
Okay. So we'll do a little roll off here.
Now, I rolled a 4. +1 is 5.
And that's a 7.
You destroyed me. So I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to give it to you, and you're going to get to score a victory point.
Awesome.
Like in just a second here.
Yes, sir. Okay.
And now you guys aren't being threatened by that.
Yeah, I just did not like that. Oh, that's
also
right.
have
I have a
this
+3.
gun, and that can fire at my units. My
Yep.
one unit here.
In the
Again,
same turn?
Each unit can fire, and tank
Ah.
can fire one.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'll do that. Yeah, no, that's good. So this is a +3 on your 3 defense.
Yep.
So
I
we'll
fear
have a roll off, yeah?
Yeah. This could be bad for Scott. Oh, it is bad for Scott.
I did not load these dice.
So you take this as well and flip it over.
Okay.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
Hey, on totally side note, how do you do that thing where you flip it, where you reverse it to your organization?
That's going to be Q and E.
Got it. Thank you.
Q and E both go flipping around.
Learn something every day, and now can I remember it?
Yeah, right.
Let's see.
And that's my turn. So
Yeah.
That was a good turn. You took 2 points away, 1 point away from each of us, and earned yourself 2 in the meantime. So that's makes me sad.
Oh boy, I'm in rough shape here. I think I need to get at least one initiative here. So I'm gonna do my I'm gonna do this blitz action. And this kind of sucks for me, but I get 1 point because I have one blitz on my engine here. That's it.
cool.
You don't want to capture one of my objectives?
I mean,
Not. It's victory points, right, Derek? But
Yeah.
also, I'm riding the pine here in the back, so I think
Okay.
I'm not gonna do that. All right.
Okay.
So that is the end of the round. We can actually move this to the next year and that.
and
to
then
the
that
next.
back. Okay.
And then we actually, before we score, we throw out these action cards. And the reason is that, I just like people to be able to see what their next options are. I'm a big fan of
That one stays, actually.
that one. Stays.
Oh, this one stays. I'm sorry.
Even through the years.
Very nice.
I like to think about my turn while other people are playing, and I like that concept anyway.
Yeah.
So we'll do that. Now we can go ahead and score, and we'll just start by let's go ahead and start scoring with Scott, and then
Sure.
we'll score Derek, and then I'll score.
So I have 1 tank kill tile right here. I
Mhm.
have 2 objectives, so that's 3 points.
3 points for Scotty.
I have 1 support unit. I've got 2 tank kill tiles and 2 destroyed cards for 5 points.
Nice.
And then you
Yep, and
then
then
you discard
these
the
cards are
kills,
discarded.
right? Then they go here. That's where they go. I'll take care of that. Yep, I got it.
All right, and it looks like I've got 3 tank kill tiles, and that would be the grand sum of my points. So I go there.
Very nice.
And now we get to spend initiative for victory points. So Scott, whoever's in the lead on initiative starts first.
Sure.
It's a 1-for-1. Scott could spend
Right here.
up to 6
Yep.
if he wants to.
Technically, we're still on 42. I'm going to spend 6.
Well, I'm glad you did that because I'm spending 3.
Yep.
Can't not do the 1-to-1.
It's kind of what I'm thinking. I've played this game.
I play it.
I'm not going to spend anything.
I've played enough Euros to know that a 1-to-1 ratio does not come around often.
No,
Right.
coming around again. All right.
Hey, Derek, I can tell you this right now. I don't feel like I'm playing a newbie who hasn't played this game before. Whereas normally, you're like, oh, I get it. You're kind of figuring out. It's like, yeah, this is a guy who knows board games.
Derek, I guess you're a great listener. It's a good time if you have any questions so far to shoot them out there at us.
No, I mean, I think the fact that I could pick up this game so easily speaks to the elegance of the design and like even just the core loop of the mechanisms, like the drafting of the tiles and the drafting of the actions, is fantastic. I'm already really, really liking this game. On top of this, theme aside, I mean, even just mechanically speaking, it's very, very fun.
So I'm just looking at the time. It's 5:36 here. Might be a good time to answer any questions that Derek might have, and then show him real quick kind of how the
AI works. Yeah.
Yeah. So we could have made the US an AI deal in this if we wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do that, basically what's going to happen is they play very similarly to the players in the action phase, but in the research and development phase, it plays totally differently.
Okay.
Basically,
because you don't use the player board.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Literally what's going to happen is we can kind of pull, this out here. Every nation has a stack of tank cards. So we have a M4A1 Sherman here.
Mm-hmm.
And what's going to happen is at the beginning of the game, you're going to roll 2d6, add the numbers together. And you see this 1942 here, since that's the beginning of the game. If one of those 4 numbers pops up, this is going to be your starting tank. If you look at the upper right-hand corner here, it's going to start with 4 tank kill tiles.
Okay.
And that's a lot, but also the M4A1, the Sherman, a lot were produced, right? You'll see the same thing with the T-34. If you're going up against the Tiger, it's going to be like 1 tank kill tile, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then basically, this is in lieu of your player mat. So you can see you've got right here, you've got your support action on the draw 3, play 1. And it's a little better than what the players have because Shermans came with FM radios to begin with. And then you've got the cannon, you've got machine guns, you've got your turret, you've got your blitz, and finally you have your armor rating down here. And then this is the weight up here. And malfunctions work differently for AI in that if it malfunctions, you literally just remove a tank kill tile.
Okay.
So there's no keeping track of actual malfunctions or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's going to happen is you have these AI cards here. When it's the AI's turn to do an action, you go through this list here. And what the AI is looking for is a fire machine guns action first. If there's not one, you move down to the next thing. And what you want is you want to find an action that doesn't break down the tank that actually gives you some benefit. It can be a minimal benefit, but it has to be something. So if you can fire machine guns at something, that will be the first thing you choose without breaking down your tank. You go through that list the first time. The second time, so if you go through all of them and none of them work, then you start back up at the top And now you can choose an action that would break your tank down.
Okay.
And if you did that, you would lose a tank kill tile.
Mm-hmm.
If you go through the whole thing and there are no actions that work, then what ends up happening is the AI literally kind of loses its turn, and you would discard all the action cards here because, action cards kind of linger from round to round to round. We don't want an AI to get stuck in a situation where it never has any actions.
Okay.
And then the second part of this card is at the end of it taking its action, it gets reinforcements. And there's a couple of different types of reinforcements. One is just support. So in this case, we'd literally draw 3. We'd use the radio of the Sherman, draw 3, play 1, and it gets one of those reinforcements. And there's a table that tells you list of priorities, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so we were adding this mortar to this AI player's tableau.
Nice.
Here's the part that Travis did that I really like is that little star on the reinforcements card.
Mm-hmm.
These cards some of them have no reinforcements, right? And some of them have, of course, there we go. And this one would get you a new tank. Now, here's the thing. When you begin to play the AI, let's say we had put the Americans in here. We could say, hey, we want to play a tough AI. Let's set it at 4. You only get reinforcements if the number of stars is less than or equal to the number of stars shown on the card. So if we had said that's a level 3 AI, they would get a reinforcement here. They would get a reinforcement off this card, but they would not get one off of this one.
Okay.
Very simple mechanic. And so, and then when, again, like you said before, you would roll the dice if this tank was coming in to determine. So if it was 1944, we'd roll 2 dice and we'd look on 1944. This is historically accurate, not only to the capabilities of the tank, but to the prevalence of those tanks in that particular time frame.
Mm-hmm.
So, where that really comes into play for the folks who love history is you could play a solo game where you go, I'm going to play the Russian front and I want to go at the Germans. You're likely going to be fighting UGs and Panzerkampfwagen 4s. It's possible that you could go, oh, hell, I have just come upon King Tigers. And you could actually get a mix of tanks when you play the AI, which means suddenly you have to build your tank kind of to adjust or address multiple types of tanks, which is really fun.
Awesome.
Yep. And when you play solo, it's a really fun storytelling experience because you're like, oh my God, tell them the story about when you were fighting against the Russian AI.
Yeah, I decided to do Operation Barbarossa. I was the Germans. And on the first 3, like in the first year, 3 of the 4 seasons, they got reinforcements, tank reinforcements, and it was always T-34s. That's what the dice roll came up. Do you notice how many tank kill tiles come up when they build T-34s? 4 of them.
4 of them.
So they had...
You're just getting overwhelmed.
Yeah, so they ended up scoring 16 points at the end of 1942.
Wow.
And so obviously my mission became to build just these tank killers, which I did.
Right.
But it took me to the end of it was like spring of 44 before I really was able to do away with those T-34s. And by then they had built this lead. So it was really cool because then I'm trying to catch up on victory points, looking for any mechanisms I can. I ended up losing fairly handily in that particular game. But it was just a fun, again, storytelling experience. And that's really big to us. We have a theme of World War II, and if you're not telling a story, I don't think that works real well, right? That's central to it.
For sure.
All right. Anything else, Derek, that you'd like to see or know about?
No, I think that you guys have built a really, really intriguing, like you said, like when you first started with the whole like Euro style, I mean, it has everything you're looking for, like out of the Euro experience with the drafting and the actions, and but again, it's seeping with theme. So players that are super interested in like that historical theme of World War II, I think you're going to be really, really impressed and really enjoy this. But I also think that players that don't necessarily know a lot about World War II, or even tanks for that matter, are still going to come away with a great experience of the actual like core gameplay here. So this absolutely is not just a game for history nerds like myself and you, but this game is just overall really fun.
Nice. Well, thank you so much. This is fun.
Yeah,
It was a lot of fun.
this is really fun. I'm really
It
excited
actually
to see this on Kickstarter. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Derek with the Board Game Spotlight. This was the playthrough of Built for War with Scott and Travis, and I really appreciate you watching this video, and thank you for your guys' time today.
Thank you, Derek.